Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
What's going on YouTube? It's Filthy and we're back with another video. I hope you've been enjoying season 26 so far. This is going to be a brief guide on how to get more Petrified Screams so you can open up more Echoing Nightmares and get more of these delicious Whisper of Atonement 125 augment gems to deck out your character just as fast as you can. Probably not going to be earth-shattering if you've been playing this game for years upon years. Most of the stuff I'm going to say, in fact near enough all of it, I guarantee you'll probably know. There's no cheat, I wish there was. But if you're more casual minded, then maybe this will give you some food for thought on how to build a better character, how to get more of these screams, and enjoy the new game mode, the Echoing Nightmares, that we do have. Before we do get going though, guys, as always, thumbs up brightens my day. Let me know what you got out of your GR70 clear. If you got something good, it probably was the highlight of your weekend. I was absolutely stoked to get a convention of elements. Really useful. I'm planning on playing multiple classes, so this is just brilliant. So yeah, lucky me, hey? Right, now, let's start with the Petrified Screams, I guess. These are the keys. You pop them in the cube, and they open up an Echoing Nightmare. Now I'm Paragon 910 and I've found 6 so far, so I've got 5 here. I have actually used one in a group. How I've managed to get these Whispers of Atonement while still having 6 keys we will get onto in a little bit, but the point that I'm getting at is they are rare. Now by comparison, I've probably found let's say 3 or 4 primals, so they're kind of in that kind of primal drop chance range, I think. I've definitely found more gifts, more socketable gifts for weapons than I have Petrified Screams. Not by lots, but I think I have found more. And it just seems to me that it's totally random. So let's go through a few things. One, you can't get them doing keys. So if you come into your Nephilim Rift and you're trying to farm keys, you won't find a Petrified Scream. If you come over here and you do bounties, you're not going to find one. They only drop in Greater Rifts. So you have to be doing Greater Rifts to get them. Now, there's no unlock. You don't have to be beat GR70. All you have to do is be level 70. Somebody in our clan got one dropped, I think, on a tier 10 rift. So it doesn't really matter. The tier, as far as I can tell, doesn't matter. I've done a bunch of speed farming at 100 solo. I've done some 105s in group, 107s, 110s. The drop rate doesn't really seem to be affected, but you do need to bear in mind that as you go up in the game in difficulty, the more items are going to drop. So if you start doing GR10, you get very few items, and all the way up until the cap at 90, this is the most number of items you get at the end of a rift. So past here, you're not finding any more items. So if you're wanting to find Petrified Screams, first tip is once you get to 90, and you can do that very efficiently, you don't want to go any further unless there's no loss in efficiency in time, because simply speaking, you can get lower drops per hour. Lower drops mean Petrified Screams, not as many. So basically, it's just an item in the game. It's just in the general loot pool. So it's in there with everything else. So the game will just take a random roll each time you complete a rift. Are you going to get a pair of gloves? Are you going to get shoulders? Are you going to get a ring? And obviously in there is a very small chance, are you going to get a Petrified Scream? So, if you're going to get as many items as possible, then you need to be efficient. So, first tip is to have a really good, strong key build. Now, we have done a guide on Inner T16, which I'll link. This is what I'm using on the Monk at the moment. If I was playing Demon Hunter, I'd be doing Gears of Dreadland. If I was doing Barb, I'd do either Raycore or Whirlwind. Now, you just need to stack enough damage and speed so that you're clearing it as fast as you can. And the biggest tip is going to be to have a cane set on your follower. This will emanate and it will give you a 25% extra chance each time you do a T16 to get an extra key. It's an individual roll, so you can theoretically get double keys, albeit it is obviously very rare, but 25% extra keys means you can do more of these greater rifts up to a high level, which means you have more chance of getting Petrified Screams. Now, what I would personally do is I wouldn't worry about the cap at 90 unless you can blast through it. Like Inner Monk can blast through it pretty easily. Gears of Dreadland's Demon Hunter can blast through it pretty easily. You know, there's lots of builds that are good. We've covered most of them on the channel, I think, and as your Paragon grows, more and more builds will be able to crush 90. But until you can crush 90, it makes sense to me, I think, to be doing basically just the fastest rifts possible. So again, this is my current setup that I've got. I'm working on all guilds for some groups, but I'm using Crimsons at the moment with my Inner Monk. And I would just simply say what you want to be doing is you want to have a build like Inner Monk, like maybe UE Demon Hunter, God Demon Hunter, something that can wave clear very, very fast. And then just pick a difficulty that you can complete reliably in under 2 minutes. So if you get a stink awful map, you load it in, you get spaghetti, and it takes you 2 minutes, that's about right. If you get a really juicy map and you can blast that thing out in 90 seconds, that's kind of the range, because the more rifts you can flip over, the more items you're going to get. And the plus side is the more primals you're going to get, the more blood shards. So yeah, just do things as fast as possible. That's definitely not what she said. But yeah, just be efficient with your time. Now you're going to try to creep up to 90 because obviously you want the maximum number of items. I can do 90 in like 90 seconds most of the time. Again, it depends on the map, but that's where you're going to kind of build up to. You just want as many items, as many drops as you can, because that's going to give you the most chance of a Petrified Scream. Now, none of this is new. This is always the guide for how to gear up characters. It's stop at 90. This is always the guide for how to get more primals, is to stop at 90. So the other tips that I've got really, and if you're a solo casual player, you're not going to like this tip at all, but it is to be social. Now, I've managed to, in the clan, we do have some spaces, so anybody is free to join. All we do in our Filthy Casual YouTube clan is we try and share puzzle rings, we try and share the Echoing Nightmares. But if you can learn how to play support, if you can learn how to play Z-Barb, a ZDH, again, we've done guides on both of them on the channel. One, it'll let you do very high rifts very fast, because you basically hop along with the damage dealers. Two, if you're social, you're going to have more people on your friends list. You're going to be able to have more opportunities to share these keys out. And as I say, if you can find a clan to join, by all means, you can stick an application in and come for us. It just will help out, because you've only got to clear wave 125 to get your max level augment. And the way the Echoing Nightmares works is basically you can revive each other. So even if you get knocked down, you can get back up again. I think that's a song. You can also benefit from whoever lasts the longest. So if one player gets to wave 125 and you get creamed at wave 99, it doesn't matter. You're still going to get the full XP. You're still going to get the Whisper of Atonement. Now, we've only gone, I think, as high as like 134, but we haven't really tried many of them. And I'm sure over the next couple of days, because it's very early in the opening weekend, we will be getting to wave 150. Whether that's going to be in a group or whether that's going to be solo by the end of it. So you will have quite a lot of chance to get the XP and get all the whispers. But if you are social, if you do play online, sometimes people get a key, they'll be like, do you want to pop it now? My advice is just always say yes, because these augment gems are very powerful. Once you start adding a couple to your character, it really is going to juice things along. I think I've got another ring somewhere with one on. But the next tip then really is going to be, well, how do you have enough gems? I might make a separate video on this, but basically you just want to be using a broken crown. So again, if we go back to the follower for our key build, they've got a broken crown on. If you're going to do Greed's Realm, make sure you have a broken crown equipped. Same for bounties. If you can work in a broken crown, it's going to be very beneficial. The other big brain tip for bounties is just have a broken crown in your inventory, and then go and do all the bosses. So here, go and kill Cool, go blast him, knock him out, and then before you open the chest at the end, they near enough always, I think, guaranteed have gems in. Just simply pop your broken crown on. Obviously make sure it's got a gem in it, and then when you open the chest, it'll give you double gems. But I've managed to org, I think, 3 or 4 pieces so far. I've still got a decent amount of gems left, and that's basically all I'm doing. Again, be social, share your puzzle rings, and come into the clan chat if you're in a clan, or join the Greater Rift community. which is in the tab down here, and then just put +3 for puzzle rings, +3 for echoing nightmares. I know not everybody wants to group. Some people like to chill out, and if you do, well, you're just stuck with doing everything as fast as you can and trying to get as many of these things up. But again, if you can get some augs on your gear, if you're solo, that is going to help you out a bunch. Right, so that's all the tips that I can think of for the Echoing Nightmares. I'm tempted to say it does look like the drop rate gets better as you go higher, because I did find 3 playing last night at 105. But that might just be a complete coincidence. I'm not confident enough to say the drop rate increases as you go up. I think that would be a little unusual. There's no other items in the game that are coded like that, and I can't really see that Blizzard have done anything other than just plop these things in the general loot pool. So I wouldn't worry about going too high. You just need to do it as fast as possible. Again, one more time, that is definitely not what she said. Right, I hope this has been helpful. You know, it feels a little bad because all I'm saying is basically just play the game as fast as you can. But honestly, the social side of it, I think is going to come in big time because, you know, as I say, I've already got 4 augments done. I've got 5 or 6 ready to go again. As we play more as a clan and a community, we're just going to find more of these. And I think later on in the season, there's going to be enough of these spread around. Because if you're playing with 3 other people, you know, I've got 5 here. If I play with 3 other people who've got 5, then, you know, ultimately you've got access to 20 of these things rather than just simply 5, and that's gonna really, you know, help us out. But they are rare, 6 drops and 910 Paragon. As we say, I've been trying to do everything fairly fast. I haven't pushed at all. We haven't really done many bounties, maybe 3 or 4 complete sets. So this has pretty much been exclusively in GRs. Now, as a talking point, is the drop rate too low? Well, for solo casual players, yes, I think so. Because if you're just playing on your own, this is going to suck. You know, like if I'd have just gone totally solo, I guess maybe I'd have found 3 or 4 by like 900 Paragon. But some people in my clan got to 800 Paragon, hadn't found one. Some people got to 600 Paragon and found 3. It's just the RNG on these things because they are quite rare. For solo play, crap, the drop rate way too low. But if you're grouping, I don't think it's going to matter. And for me, that's a bit of a kick in the balls because, like, for me personally, I don't care. I'll group, I'll jump in, I'll play Z-Barb, ZDH, try and share things. But for a lot of people who just do the solo, you know, I was hoping that this would have been a mechanic to allow solo players to catch up because you can get some pretty sweet XP off it. You can get all these augments done. So it means that if you want to play solo, you can just jump in, blast about, and you can still catch the people who group with the XP. Whereas now it looks like people who group are going to have paragons way further, way faster, as it always has been. So yeah, so I'm a little disappointed, I guess, with how the mechanics of it work. I would like the drop rate to be higher, but there we are. So overall season theme at the moment, it does feel a little bit underwhelming, but I think the further we go, the more we play with this, the more we realise that actually these things, whilst they are rare, we will build them up as a community as we go. We will be able to get access to the juicy paragons, to the juicy Whisper of Atonement, and I think overall we'll look back and think this has been a good addition to the game, albeit it's a bit pants because you're only looking for the one item. Like Ethereal Soul Shards was a better season because we were looking for lots of items instead of just the one. So the loot chase, the hunt, I think was better. But I would like to see this system added to the game permanently. As it is, like, keep it in always. I don't see any reason to take this out at all. But as a season theme, I think the drop rate should have been much higher and then scale it back for like when it goes into the main game. But anyway, they're my thoughts, guys. I hope you have some luck finding some Petrified Screams. Stick your application in if you want. I shall see you soon. Stay safe in Sanctuary. Take it easy. Peace.